Hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am home. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel and to my nieces and nephews. I love you. Thanks for always having your aunties back and being here for your auntie. So tonight we are, yes, going to talk about Married at First Sight. It's season 6. I think it was episode whatever, Great Expectations. Okay. There are no great expectations when it comes down to Cotton freaking Ryan. Do y'all hear me? Y'all know we're going to get into this. I know tonight we're going to be talking about Audrey Stevenson, and we will get into that if time permits. If not, I'm going to come back out here because I'm going to spoil y'all, and we just going to make a run of these live chats, okay? Because I miss y'all so much. And so when I have a little bit of time, we're gonna go ahead and spend some time together, okay? Don't forget when you come into the room to hit that thumbs up button. That is my way of knowing that you are in the room and in the house. Now I'm gonna put my glasses on, and I'm going to do some shout outs before we go ahead on and get into this little fuss cuss fest, okay? So let me go back and see who's in here. So we got Sophie's Papers. Hi! Victoria G, Kathy Kwan, Amanda Reeves. Auntie, I love you. So happy to catch you, love. Oh, thank you, sweetie. We got Atlanta B and a Yon Latif. We got my Nessa G. Hi there, Brandy. Hi, Double Seven Trouble. Hi. We got Queen Stars, My World. Hi, sweetie. We got Cynthia E and my Josie F with all of those little flowers and hearts. She's just as sweet as she could be. Hi, everybody. Thank y'all, too, for being downtown with me today. Walking the monuments. Hi, Brian, Brandy. Fun time. Hi, welcome to the channel. I think it's your first time being here, so everybody, please welcome Brandy. Hi, Sandy G. Hi, Stephanie Cole. Hey, Auntie, greetings from the child. Hey, what's up, child? What's up? Don't forget to thumbs up, everybody. That's right. Hi, Rainy Day. Thank you for those wonderful little hearts that you put down there at the bottom. That's right. Welcome, Brandy. I think it's Brandy. That's how you say it. Welcome to the family, sweetie. We so appreciate you being here. Hi, Rich Chick. Hello, 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 hello. We're probably going to end up getting into some, little hot topics tonight as we talk about these crazy mofos that made a decision to be on the show. We kind of open up this particular episode of Married at First Sight with just a review of the couples. That's something that they like to do, review. That was exciting. I think seeing you have sealed the deal of visiting Washington with my husband. Absolutely. I would love to spend a day with you and your husband. So come on down here, girl. But we open up and we see the couples, just kind of, you know, wrapping up on what they had been going through and just kind of catching up. And this is Great Expectations. So I guess in Great Expectations, what they want the couples to kind of talk about is their expectations for the relationship and for the marriage going forward. The couples have less than 2.5 weeks in order to make a decision on whether or not they're going to stay together. We see our girl Shawnee's and Jeopardy, who will you be reviewing Married at First Flight? Absolutely not. I tried to look at it and I couldn't even swallow me or my daughter. And so when we can't watch something together, like I usually don't, No, I won't be doing it. So anyway, we see Shawnee's and we see Jeopardy. They are really doing good. The relationship is very healthy. They enjoy one another. They laugh and giggle, and they have a lot of fun together. They have gotten through the hard times, and they are now in brighter and sunny days. We see, them talking about, the family relationships. And for some reason, Jeopardy's family is absent, and so is hers. But we see them kind of talk about, hey there, goddess, mega love from the land of the one-armed bandits and showgirls all over the place. Las Vegas, Nevada, checking in. Yes! You better go. You better go ahead. Let me get that name. Magic McPaul. Okay. They have a total turnaround. They are Queen Star is my world. Hey, Sid, I'm loving this couple. Yes, Brandy should. That is her second home. Okay, she loves Vegas. I've never been to Vegas. I need to visit. And so anyway, we see them, talking about, their relationship and, how they see it in the future. And, basically Jeopardy was saying, something that I thought was really profound about his relationship as it relates to men. And, Jeopardy, like many other African American men, and again, I can only talk about African American men because, well, that ain't all I date, but I mean, that's what I grew around with. Okay. But Jeopardy, goes on to talk about how he never had really an example of seeing a married couple. He said that his father, when he was young, made the statement multiple times that he would never marry his mother. And he said that he felt like, that was something that the father should not have said to at a young age. And he's absolutely correct. He didn't have any role models as far as marriage was concerned, except for the television. And he said that, he looked at different shows that came on television, and that's what he thought would be the quote unquote ideal family, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and probably the Cosby Show, A Different World, whatever it was, that was his example, the only example he had of having a marriage. And unfortunately, that is the plight of a lot of African American men who have been raised up and have not had any father figure in the household. The national statistics for single mothers is 72% of the children born in African American homes are born to single parent moms or households. And so, it doesn't surprise me to hear him say that. And it doesn't surprise me to see that African American people, for the most part, struggle in their marriages more so than other races of people. Now, you can write down in the comment and tell me if you disagree with me or not, but the stats don't lie. And it just is what it is. And hopefully, with the next generation that's coming up, we'll be able to fix some of these things that affect our community. But when you have the rate of single parent households at 72%, you're going to have some issues as it relates to people being able to understand and know what marriage is about. And I was very, very happy that, I see something on there. What's that? 70%. Wow, didn't realize it was that high. Absolutely, it is of that high. And so Shawnice was able to tell Jeopardy about her aunt and her uncle, and she said that, her aunt had passed away, and that the uncle made his marriage a priority over the children. because the uncle believed that one day the children would leave the home, and that the children would leave the home, and that, he wanted to still have a relationship with his wife. And he didn't really, I guess they really didn't want to put the children first and then they not be connected to one another. Jepti kind of disagreed and thought that, the children should be first, but you still nurtured the marriage. I have never been married, but I have been in long term relationships. And I know for me, it was very easy for me to slide out of relationships because my daughter absolutely was a priority. I never made the relationship a priority over my child. And that was something that I chose to do because marriage just wasn't a priority to me. And so when we see this particular couple, talk about these things, and Shawnice said that her mother made them a priority too. But Shawnice's mother isn't married either. She is a single mom who raised 3 girls on her own. And I think that, when we're raising and rearing children, especially being a single parent, that's all we really know, is that it's about my child, and my child is a package deal, and I want to protect my child and stuff like that. There's many reasons why we end up prioritizing our children. But in a marriage relationship, I'm sure that, it is hard for the husband and the wife to not try to prioritize their children. And I know that there are couples that I know who are still married, and some couples who are divorced who chose not to prioritize each other. They didn't, continue with the date night, all those things that brought them together. They didn't continue in that. And so over the years, as the children did move out the home, they realized that they didn't even know each other, that they had been estranged the whole entire time because the whole priority was around the kids. So I think that if you're married, you have to make sure that you learn to balance both of those things in your life, because if you neglect one to take care of the other one, then your life is out of balance. As women and as men, just as human beings, we have to learn how to balance out our life. And you have to balance and relationships and work and me time and prioritizing yourself above your children, and not allowing yourself to be burned out by the things and the responsibilities that you have daily in your life. And I know for me, for a long time, for my daughter, especially in middle school, I found myself being burnt out and not really taking time to take care of me. And sometimes even when she comes home now from college, I find myself, trying to make up for that lost time that she was away in college by prioritizing her and not prioritizing myself. And then by the time she goes back to school, I feel extremely drained, and I have to take time to restore myself. And so that just lets me know that in that particular area that I have to learn how to balance that, because there is no making up of time. There is just spending quality time and making the best out of the time that we have. It's not the quantity, it's the quality of the time that I spend with my daughter that should matter. And so I noticed this time when she came home, like I was really out of balance. I didn't, do all the things that I usually do. And my schedule was all off, and it was because I was prioritizing her. And then sometimes I get to the point where I complain about it, and she'll be like, well, Mom, you should have did such and such for yourself. You don't have to sit around and wait for me in order to do something in your life. So it's just, it's just a learning process. And so I pray that her and Jepti, throughout their relationship, learn how to prioritize one another, as well as making their children a priority when it is necessary for them to do so. We see Ryan go in. Oh, let me put my glasses on because you all probably said something about that. I've been a fan ever since my grandma used to watch it on all her television, bathroom, kitchen, everywhere for the days of Jill Snapper. So I go way back, old school, Young and the Restless. Okay. Brandy, the characters do not change. Brandy, how much of that is financial based though? Because I would be willing to be that percentage is high too. Um, to hell with my children. They only call me BOD Bank of Daddy. Oh, okay. My parents have been married for almost 45 years. My parents have been MI. She said my parents married 58 years till dad passed. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about your loss. Nessaji, you really have to balance it. My kids are now adults and they have their own family and life. Thank goodness I have a relationship and friendship with my husband. That is fantastic, Nesta G. Queen Stars, my world said it is a true balancing act. It really is. Brandy said marriage is hard work, though I've never been married, but it is hard. I'm sure it is hard because that's why a lot of people are not doing it successfully. But you know, we see Jacqueline go to the household with fake ass Ryan, and you know, he sits down with his parents. His parents have been married a long time, and of course all of us know that you can't believe a damn thing that comes out of Ryan's mouth. And so, you know, they're looking over the pictures and they're asking them, you know, how's the marriage working out? How is it, you know, going and everything? And we see Jacqueline just kind of subdued. And I know that Jacqueline has this little optimism. You know, she's one of those girls, you know, it's working out. And, you know, we have our good days and our bad days, but our good days outnumber our bad days. And I have a feeling that Jacqueline, at the end of this experiment, is really going to be devastated and hurt and broken if she don't wake the hell up. Like, Jacqueline, you need to wake up and you need to realize that Ryan is all talk and he is a complete and total lie. There was so many inconsistencies in his story and in his life and the words that he speak and the way that he just disrespects her. Like, he, you know, that you know, okay, I gotta pump my brakes about this because here's the thing, you know, I'm gonna kind of go off the subject, but then I'm gonna come back on it. You know, one thing about Ryan that we all have given Ryan, I believe in the beginning, we gave him the benefit of the doubt, even though he was an ugly mofo. You understand what I'm saying? And I know that, you know, in my life and probably in some of your life, we have taken a chance and a risk with the ugly guy, the ugly broke down back mountain guy that just really don't have anything to, you know, going for himself. He's not used to having anything. He comes from a family that's probably struggled, and you know, and then when he gets something, you know, because he has a rental property and all of that, and you know, he has his little paintball business with his boys and all that, and now he thinks that, you know what I'm saying, he's the damn cat's meow. And what is that he is the cat litter. He is the litter box in which the cats go in and scratch and dig and leave their dump and they waste in there, and then they come back and cover it up. This is the kind of guy that I see Ryan as. I just think that he's just a low life drunk. Every time you turn around, he is with the boys and wanting to hang out in the club. He sits there at the table with his parents and makes a comment, you know, to the producers that, you know, he and Jacqueline would never have a marriage like his parents. You know what? You may not have a marriage like your parents, but your marriage should be better than your parents. We always want more and better for the next generation, Ryan. And you're sitting at the table and you're acting like everything is all good. And here we got a subdued ass Jacqueline sitting there not saying anything, not womaning up, not popping her bra and saying what she has to say at the table. You know, one of the things that I wanted Jacqueline to ask, and I don't know if she asked it off the camera, but is your son an alcoholic? Because every time we turn around, this mofo wants to be hanging somewhere with his friends and getting drunk. And I am trying to, you know, keep my cool about it because I got, you know, some more things that we need to talk about. But I really absolutely do not like Ryan. Just the very thought of him just makes my skin crawl and my ass itch. I just think that he is just the worst guy that has ever been on there. And I know that there has been some slimy guys that have been on Married at First Sight. But one thing about him is that they've been slimy up front. This man is sitting up there, you know, faking with this girl and trying to make it seem like it's something more than what it is. So anyway, I digress. I'm going to John and Molly. We see John and Molly go over to Molly's mom's house and they're painting and everything. And, you know, he's just happy that the family has included him. And, you know, he wants to be over there to paint with them and all of that kind of stuff and share in a moment. See, the thing about it for her is that it's the mom and the three sisters. The dad has passed away, and so John is the only male presence that's currently in their household. And so, to see him, I'm sure it's just a breath of fresh air. But Molly is calling herself, wanting to be. She feels closer to him. She feels like, there is a connection there. She feels like he's just like her. But Molly, what I think that you don't understand is that is IE. In other words, we're in the friend zone. He is my best friend. He's my ride or die. He's somebody that, I'm friends, but I'm not affectionate with him. I don't, have any feelings for him. I don't want to sleep with him. I'm not sexually attracted to him. And I just don't understand what it is about her or what it is about him that causes her to not to be sexually attracted to him. At the same time, John is the type of guy that, was used to women throwing themselves all on him because, he's handsome and he looks nice and all of that kind of stuff. And so, maybe this is his karma. This is just, God's way of showing him that everything isn't about physical attraction, that some things are basically about, getting to know somebody and being a friend to them. Because, oftentimes when he has had conversations with Molly, he's made the comments about, it being very easy for him to be with women, and Molly hasn't made it easy for him. Molly absolutely does have a stick up at like the complete crack of that ass, and she overthinks everything, which is what she said to the girls. And so, this is just, it's two people who are so much alike till they're so different. It makes them different. And so I'm just hoping that, it works out. He's in the house and he's painting. She has a conversation with her sisters about him. And the family seems to really like him. And, and I'm like, he doesn't seem like a bad guy. I also think that, excuse me, a lot of the reasons why John is going through the things that he's going through is because he's not working either. He was unemployed when, he lost his job. He says that he lost his job as a result of signing up for the show. My daughter said, Mom, he been... She said, Mom, he ain't had no job to begin with. But, he lost his job. And so, he has a lot of time to ponder and to think. And I think that, maybe he should be giving his time, in doing something positive in the community, maybe giving back, maybe volunteering somewhere, so that sex isn't something that is on his mind constantly. But as a husband and in a marriage relationship, sex is something that you should not withhold from your partner. I absolutely believe that. And so... it is what it is with them. I mean, he's going to have a hard time convincing Molly to do anything but be his friend right now. And he's taking the pressure off of them. We see them go out and, do some rock climbing and stuff like that. And they really enjoy the day. And she, actually was affectionate with him. She actually gave him a kiss. And I think seeing him active and seeing him doing things makes him attractive. I think that is one of the unspoken things that Molly is not saying. That, she probably finds him unattractive because every time she goes to work, he's at home. And when she comes home from work, he's still sitting there. God damn. I mean, find something to do with yourself. I think that will bother me too. If I'm just marrying somebody and, I'm going out here, I'm making the bacon, I'm cooking the bacon. And not to say he's not getting unemployment or whatever. But I think that will bother me too, that every time I came in the house, that ass is sitting up in there. Find something to do. Swing off a tree, go play basketball, do something. See, the thing about it is John, he's one of those guys who really wanted marriage. Ryan is one of those guys who has the audacity to say that he thinks that she should take him the way that he is and he's not going to change. If they two would just swap a little bit more, if John would just hang out with his friends maybe sometime, find something else to do to occupy your time so that the sex that your wife is unfairly withholding from you is not the first thing on your brain. Y'all tell me what y'all think about that. Let me put my glasses on to see what y'all think about that couple. Don't forget when you come into the room to hit that thumbs up button, especially you, Miss Michelle. You need to hit the damn button twice and you out here making jokes. Hi, Auntie. Hi, Katie. Okay, Clinique. Hi, Clinique. Josie F. In my opinion, I think that either Jacqueline nor Ryan, that I think that either Jacqueline nor Ryan were ready for marriage. Jacqueline is still grieving her loss from her boyfriend, and Ryan is very insecure and immature. Absolutely. He is sweet, but he is very hairy, yet it appears his hair is thinning. Okay, Emma. Yeah, Clinique. I agree. Clinique said yes, it will bother me too. Go do something productive. Absolutely. John is a sweaty. Molly is a jerk. Can't stand a lazy man. Though turn off. Yeah, it is a turn off. Hey, Pepe Music. I see you. Hi, Bobby Norris. How Marley Knapp, he must be collecting unemployment and have saving. He doesn't seem stressed financially. Why is she not wanting sex? I don't get it. Maybe because he's not working, she's turned off. Hi, Debbie Vogue. I absolutely believe that that could be possibly the reason. I know, I think that that will be a turn off for me, especially as hard as I work. I don't know whether or not I would want to come home and see somebody sitting in the house day in and day out. Find something else to do. And that's even if you're catering to me, like that, all of that stuff will get old too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some women like a little, you know what I'm saying? You know, a little hit upside the head and stuff like that. A little, go sit that ass down. So I mean, it is. Hey, am I? So I don't know. I don't know. But we did see her be affectionate with him when they were um rock climbing and stuff like that. We saw her come out of her shell. But when she sat there with her sisters and she made a comment and said, I don't know whether or not I'm ready. I want to do this. And I'm thinking, y'all been together all these weeks. Y'all gonna wait to the last minute to make a decision on whether or not you're gonna be with each other. I think, to me, I would have already made my decision by now. But see, again, Auntie got a 24-hour turnaround period. I can tell whether or not I like a man in 24 hours. It doesn't take me 2 weeks. It doesn't take me 3 weeks. It doesn't take me a lot of time to know whether or not I'm attracted to you. Um, it just doesn't. And I think it's probably because of age. And if I know how to ask those questions and get those answers out of you. And so I just absolutely do not, it don't take me a whole long time to find out. Right, Miss Michelle said it took her an hour once. And Nessa G says a couple of hours. Absolutely, I can tell whether or not I want to be with you. And even if there's some misunderstandings about some things, or you meet somebody who's not such a great communicator, I will at least give myself 24 hours to make a decision on whether or not I like you. And I think that the best thing to do is always sleep on a situation. If you sleep on that situation, you wake up in the morning and you're refreshed. Those things will kind of play off in your subconscious mind, and in your heart, God will tell you whether or not this is the right person for you. I don't think she is into him at all. They are around each other a lot, so she enjoys his company and maybe his friendship, but I doubt that there's any real chemistry there. And that came from Sophie's papers. I absolutely agree with you on that. And then, we see the girls, they having girl night and everything. And the girls come over to Jacqueline and Ryan's home, and Jacqueline and Ryan and the guys go out to the bowling alley and play pool. And this is where things got really just disgusting for me with Ryan, because they're all out there to play pool. He needs to put the morning wood next door. So they go out there and they're playing pool and everything, and Ryan goes into this dialogue about whether or not he's going to. Yes, he does, Christina J. He needs to grow the fuck up. I am so trying to keep my composure. I'm so trying to keep my composure. They go out there and play pool. He comes up with this thing and says he absolutely wants to keep his apartment. He doesn't have a good reason for keeping his apartment. The only reason that I heard him say that he wanted to keep the apartment was because he couldn't let the boys down. What boys? Right? It's such a big lie. I don't like him. He had me screaming at the TV. If I wasn't so worried about glass being shattered all around, all over my living room area, I would have took my shoe and threw it. This guy is a complete and total asshole. He sits there and makes this excuse up talking about, I don't want, to disappoint the boys. I'm not going to break my lease. Bitch, what are you talking about? You not going to break your lease and about the boys? Yes, he is, Josie. He is full of himself. You sit there and that's your excuse. No, you got a plan B. You're not into Jacqueline. You're having sex with Jacqueline because Jacqueline gave it up to you the first night, basically. So you're having sex with her. She's something good for you, but you're not willing to compromise or to do anything else for Jacqueline. You don't have any respect for her because you have no respect for yourself. You are a complete and total asshole. You really are. To sit there and do that to that woman and sit there and say that you're going to keep your apartment. Well, I tell you what, you keep your apartment and move your shit and go ahead on and stay in your apartment. And then you sit there and say, I got married at first sight because I wanted to love somebody and give 100% of myself. Bitch, you're not even giving 10% of yourself, Ryan. You're not giving anything to this relationship. What you're doing is coming into the house and you're drinking every night. Every night. But here's the thing. Jacqueline is one of those women who is used to abuse in order to have a man in her life. She will turn her back, turn her head away, and act like the abuse is not happening. She's one of those women. How many women do we know allow themselves to go through this kind of mental and emotional abuse just to say you got somebody? Look, Jacqueline, if you're not over your old boyfriend, guess what? It's okay. And it's okay to even be in a relationship and still grieve over a person because nobody can tell you. There's no predetermined time that says when you have to be over somebody. And just because you're not over the death of the person doesn't mean that you're still in love with them, you're still infatuated, you still have hopes and all of that, because I think that reality sets in at some point. But I do believe that Jacqueline is still grieving over her boyfriend. And because Jacqueline and Ryan had the disagreement where he was like, I feel like you ain't done with this and all of that. Her feelings and her emotions about the situation were shut down. He shut it down because he did not have the maturity to deal with a woman who had to box all her stuff up. And in doing so, saw the remnants of a relationship that was ruined by an accident. She saw the remnants and the memories of a man that she was in love with sitting in a garage. And she was moving on with her life. That was a time for him to wrap his loving arms around her. The asshole that he is, he still got arms. That was a time for him to wrap his arms around her, communicate and show compassion, sympathy, and empathy for her. And he was unable to do it because he's such a selfish asshole that he couldn't even realize that he shut the communication line down between the two of them. The phone was disconnected, the Wi-Fi was off, and all communication was off. Because as soon as you judge a person, instead of having empathy and sympathy for a person, the communication is shut down. And that's what he did in that communication. Also, when she, ended up talking to the doctor, and the doctor was telling her that she, had to move on. It's obvious that I've moved on. I've gotten married. I'm just still in the grieving process. Do you know how it feels to have somebody that you love and that you cared for and you had a future, a hope, You see this person, they're gone and they're dead, and now you have to go back and take that stuff and box that stuff up and get rid of it, move it on because you have chosen to move on. It's still not easy. It doesn't mean that she's head over heels in love with him. She know that that relationship is dead, but you know what? She still needs to process through it. And guess what? She had nobody. As far as we saw, she had nobody to help her process through that situation. And it sure the hell wasn't Ryan. And then you moving with this guy who is putting everything before you. He's putting his job before you. He's putting his little raggedy ass paintball business in front of you. He's putting a liquor bottle in front of you. He's putting a beer bottle. He's putting the boys in front of you. So, you know, my whole thing is Ryan gay? Ryan, are you gay? Do you like men? Like, what the hell is going on? Because there's not that much bromance in the world. When you sit up there and say you're keeping an apartment that you're not physically living in for two men. So what are they, Bonnie and Clyde? And so who are you, the gun? You sticking everybody up? Don't get me started out here on this mother. Yes, he is, Michelle. He acts like he is gay. I think he just wanted to get married for fun and not become committed. Absolutely. Because he sat there and said, why do I have to change? I don't think I need to change. Who gets into a marriage and doesn't think that they're going to have to change a little bit? That's right, DJ Coco. Joe, he's the stick-up kid. He's the gun. He's sticking up everybody. I learned your line. I can't understand what this bromance, and even Jeffy and John, who's not getting stuck up and ain't sticking nothing up, looked at him like he was crazy. Like, are you serious? He wants her to forget all about a huge and traumatic part of her life, but he won't give up anything. Thank you, Debbie Vogue. He won't give up anything. Yes, his parents seem too eager for him to stay married. I feel like they know something we don't. Absolutely. And you know what? The hard question she needs to ask, is your son an alcoholic? He's the type that thinks as long as he can cheat, he can treat her good. So I think he thinks he's the prize. He does. Because when Jeffy asked him, do your wife respect you? He told me she better. No, bitch, you better respect yourself. You need to RESPECT yourself. When you learn how to respect yourself, then you'll learn how to respect and honor me. But because you don't know how to respect and honor yourself, then you absolutely can't give it to me. Because your life is fickle. It's unbelievable to me. And, you know, John is saying, you know, something shady about it. And guess what? Jeffy said something shady about it too. And John said, you know, he's acting like he's an immature child. He's not ready for a relationship, let alone a marriage. Because he has to find out whether or not he wants to be with guys or be with girls. Which one do you want to be with? And then she sits there and she compromises on it. You understand what I'm saying? And she allows this stuff to go. And then you still lay in the bed and you don't hold him accountable for his stuff. Jacqueline, you've got to hold this man accountable for his stuff. And allow this man to continue to do what he wants to do, when he wants to do it, and how he wants to do it. And he sit there and eat with you, and he say he's sorry, and all of a sudden you back up in his lap. It doesn't allow hell no. Yes, Christina J. She says, shout out to Jeffy for maturing and giving good advice. Plot twist. Josie F. said Jacqueline is allowing this behavior. Absolutely. Nessa G said compromise for everything. Absolutely. The parents are probably hoping marriage will straighten him out. But you know what? Marriage isn't going to straighten anybody out. Give him an ultimatum. I wouldn't give him an ultimatum because you know what? If I'm communicating with him, which we see that she is trying to do, that is your ultimatum. I would not give you an ultimatum that you could, because you know what? Giving somebody an ultimatum is really using force. And I would love to use power instead of force. Force is temporary. Power is eternal. And I don't want to force somebody by putting an ultimatum in front of them. I understand what you're saying, but as for me and my household, I'm not going to give you an ultimatum about something that I've been communicating about. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a decision for me and you. I'm going to get my stuff and I'm going to get the fuck about the house. Yes, and that's what G said. I will walk. She got a little walking man on there. She said, I will walk out and not look back. Absolutely. Debbie Vogue said, the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. If he isn't giving you a reason to think he's changing with actions, then honeys, he ain't changed. Talk is cheap. Absolutely, and that's what he been doing anyway. M.I. said, I don't like drunk, angry men. Nope. Nessa G said, Josie F said, absolutely. And I said, Brandy got to do it. Okay. Okay. Like I hate that she is playing her so short of what she deserves as a woman. And I know that she wants this experiment to work. And hell, we all want the experiment to work. But when it's not working, it's not working. And there's nothing that you can do about it not working. And it's not your fault that it is not working. It's not something that you should hang over your head like a dark cloud and say, you know what, I failed at this. It's okay. Failure is okay. It really is okay, because at the end of the day, God always presents us with another day. That's why it's called the present. It's a gift to you to be able to breathe, inhale, exhale, and do it all over again. Reinvent yourself in this present time, in this gift that God has given you. She does not have to stay in this loveless relationship. There is no love coming from him whatsoever. He is the one that's acting like he's giving her an ultimatum. He's the one that's acting like, well, she better respect me or I'm out. She better let me keep my apartment or I'm out. She better let me go out and drink with my boys or I'm out. Then he stands there and tells Jephthah and them that she told him that he couldn't go out. That is not what she said. She did not in any way, shape, form, fashion tell him that he could not go out. She told him her heart. She communicated and said, I desire to be with you. I need you. She didn't say, Ryan, you cannot go out. I'm looking at the calendar and this is your scheduled day for going out, bitch. No, she just said, look, I need you. Just like you say your boys need you, I need you. But see, what he needs more is the bottle. He goes out every night, and then he goes out and have a conversation with his friend and sits at the table and tells his friend how she did a 180 on him. He couldn't understand what it was that happened to her. Bitch, what happened was you sat up there and told a lie on Jephthah. You changed the word. You gave me a story of what Jephthah said to serve your own agenda. You twisted what Jephthah said. What you did not say was that Jephthah told you, you can't do that. That's foul. It's a foul on the play. But Jephthah did ask you, does your wife trust you? But you know what? You didn't give her the contents in which he said it. So you know what? Lying by omission is lying nonetheless. It's still a lie that you sat there and told Jackie in order to try to prove your point and to push your agenda on her that you want to keep your own place. And if you made it appear that Jephthah said if she does not agree with you, then that is disrespect, and that is not what Jephthah said. Nor was it his intent or John's intent to say that. They know that you are immature. That possibly is the gun for Bonnie and Clyde. You're the stick-up kid. And you're not worth it. You're just not worth it. I don't know why you would not allow somebody else who was really serious about being in a relationship to have this. But you know what? You had the gift of gab. But when you get with a woman who is more mature, we can read past the gift of gab. And it's always the ugly men. It's always the men that don't look like nothing, ain't got nothing. And a little bit they got, they constantly throw in your face. That are the ones that'll walk over you and treat you bad and treat you poorly. Because, see, you was a little boy in school with that little doodle thing that hangs on the back of your head. Get your hair cut by another barber, bitch. But anyway, you're one of those guys that when you was coming up through school, Jephthah and John, they were the ones that was getting all the women. And you wasn't getting none. You was in the back of the class with an alfalfa sprout on the top of your head, sucking your thumb, looking like a biatch. That's the type of guy you was. And you making me so angry that I'm sitting out here cursing like this. Let me see what y'all saying so I can calm the freak down. Why does he want to be married? No woman will allow that. He gets on my nerves. I'm glad his mask slipped before it went further. Absolutely. Miss Michelle, he's a liar. Ryan is a lying asshole. Yes, he is. Miss Michelle, he can't even listen correctly. He hears what he wants and interprets incorrectly. Absolutely. Miss Michelle, she said, Marina Smith said, you would think he'd be nicer for his looks. Absolutely, ugly mofo. Oh my God. Josie F said, it's unfortunate that Jacqueline did not have the opportunity to get a serious man. It really is. Miss Michelle said, with his chin swallowed by his neck. Okay. And his dad going, I'm done with Ryan. I'm done with Ryan. He's such a liar. When he sat up there and told his friend that he didn't do anything, that Jacqueline just changed on him, and he could not believe she did a 180 on him, and he was shocked and he was appalled, and he doesn't think this marriage is going to last, and he sat there and played the victim, and his friend sat there and still tried to give him advice, and every time he said something about Jacqueline, it made Jacqueline look worse and worse. He never told his friend the truth. What he did not tell his friend was, I was a drunk mother that came in the house, and I used something that Jeffrey said, and I turned it around to make my wife feel bad about trying to pressure me into doing the right thing and getting rid of my apartment. And then she told me I was drunk, and she walked away so that she would not argue with me. And I was the one who leaned into the camera and said, she's mad at me because I told the truth. She's mad at you because you are a manipulator, because you are a liar, and because you are selfish, because you are uncaring, and you ugly as sin. Absolutely, Patricia. Patricia Perlotta said, Ryan doesn't listen, but he wants to be heard. Absolutely. Why is his chin so small? Bet it's not the only thing small on him. I bet you it's not. I bet you're probably correct. You know, it's gross. Absolutely, Pepe Music. Put all the snakes on there you can find. He is a snake. Josie F said, with his arrogance, I'm the master. And she has to do, yes, she has to do what I say or else I'm out. He is very insensible. And yes, he is Josie F. He is despicable at the bottom of the barrel. He is going to be alone. Even when he said, I've never been in a relationship, and his friend corrected him and said, you have been in a relationship. And he said they was bad ones. No, bitch, you was bad. How about if you got all these constant bad relationships? Maybe you're the common denominator. Maybe you're the person that's causing all of the relationships to be bad. Could it be you? I froze. I seem to have frozen. Y'all can still hear me? I am frozen on this end. I think it's somebody trying to call me, so I will come back on.